Hi class, it's Bill Berry with a little introduction to a tool that we're going to use from time to time called Turtle Graphics. This is not a main point for us, it's not a goal for us to learn Turtle Graphics, but there are times when introducing a concept this way makes such good sense. It's so clear and also fun that it's good for us to use it as a jumping off point for some of our understanding. So I want to introduce the tool in case we want to pop back in and learn a few things now and then using this tool. So here we go. First, what is this thing? Where did turtle come from? We're going to talk about that. We'll also talk about what kinds of commands you can use when you want to draw using the turtle language. We're going to do some stuff together, a little challenge together, and then we'll also let you do a challenge, and we'll save that for our in-class time. So first, where did this come from? What is turtle graphics? Where did that originate? First, this came from a programming language called Logo that was invented some years ago to make programming fun and interesting for kids especially. And it turns it all into a bit of a game and a drawing game at that. So it is kind of compelling, it's kind of fun, and you want to keep learning and building and drawing cooler things. So it's a really cool way to start learning to program. Now, it's not fancy, it's not structured, you're not going to use it in a work setting or anything, but sometimes a fun thing is the best way to do it. So what is the turtle? Well, it's an on-screen drawing tool. The turtle, in quotes here, is a drawing tool that's going to sit on the screen, and as you move the turtle, it's going to draw. And you're going to give it simple commands telling the turtle to move forward or turn right or change its color. And every time you move the turtle, it's going to draw. So that way, using simple commands, you can make interesting drawings. You can say, I want to draw a square, I want to draw a house, I want to draw whatever. And you can also get very much fancier. You can do more complex drawings, especially as you learn more of the programming building blocks that we're going to cover this quarter. You can certainly incorporate that into what's going on. And the turtle version I'm going to show you here is a JavaScript turtle. So once we learn more JavaScript, we can incorporate our JavaScript building blocks in with the turtle command so that we can draw some really cool stuff. So again, it's not a goal for us to learn this. It's just a starting point. It's just something that makes some of the commands or some of the concepts super clear. So why not, right? All right, so a little more about that. There is a site that we're going to use, and the link is here, turtle.js, or excuse me, turtle-js.herokuapp.com. It's listed here. You can click on the link or type it in, and let's jump over to that and let's look at what's going on at that site. So here we go. If I can find it, There we go. So what you'll see here is when you go to this site, this is the turtle. So drawing is going to happen when you move this little thing around. Down here is going to be the command area. So when we type a command down in that area, the turtle's going to do the thing that we ask, as long as we do the right thing, right? As long as we type commands that it understands. So you're going to type these commands. These are going to be like the functions that we've discussed, in that you type the command like I want you to move forward, and then these are all functions. So in parentheses, you're going to often put what the data is for that parameter, the data is for that function. So in this case, if I want it to move forward 100 steps, I'm going to say FD for forward, and then in parentheses 100. To get in the habit of using semicolons, I will use them here, just like in JavaScript. You don't have to, but I think it's a good habit to get into, so I'm going to type them here. Once you press enter, you're going to see that the turtle does the thing that you ask, again, as long as you give a command that it understands, and then it's going to respond. So let's say that I wanted to now turn right. Well, how many degrees right do you need the turtle to move if I want to draw a square? 90 degrees, right? So I'm going to say RT, right, and we'll talk about the command soon, and I'll say turn right 90 degrees, and you'll see the turtle will turn to its right 90 degrees. So you can continue to do that if you want to make a square. The other thing that you can do down here in the command area is that you can reuse the commands by going up arrow, and you'll see that it brings back that command that was 2 commands back. I can just press enter now, up arrow, enter, up arrow, enter. And now you'll see that the turtle has drawn a complete square. Now, one of the things that is the goal is if you look here, you think, wow, I'm sure repeating myself a lot. Yeah, you certainly are repeating yourself a lot, and part of the goal will be to not repeat ourselves a lot, but that comes later. For now, we know we're going to have to issue more commands than we may want to, but we will get smarter, I promise, as we go along week to week. So that's the basic idea here of what's going on in the Turtle JavaScript Turtle app. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about here? We're going to do fancier stuff later. If we need to do multiple line commands, which we will need to do, instead of pressing enter, we're going to press shift enter. And that's going to let us continue to write on another line. And then we're going to keep doing shift enter till we're done with the entire multi-line command, and then one big enter at the end. But another thing that you can do is if you type the script somewhere else, Notepad++, or even Notepad or whatever editor, and you paste that script in, it'll paste it as one long command, and then you can press enter and it'll execute the whole thing. So that's going to be very useful. So let's take a quick peek at what kinds of commands are available for our turtle. Here is a list of all the commands that we're going to need to know for our turtle. First is you can move forward by typing FD, and then here it lists the parameter or the data that you need for that function. So you need to specify the distance. So an example is if I want to move forward 100 units. Now this is just arbitrary, it's 100, whatever the turtle thinks is 100, it's going to move forward 100 turtle steps. You can also move backwards. Note that the turtle draws also when it's moving backwards, right? You can think of it as having a pen or a marker stuck to the middle of its plastron that's the bottom shell, so that as the turtle scoots around, it's always drawing. You can also turn right or left, and you specify how many degrees. So here's examples of that. You can lift the turtle. If you say pen up, it's as if you've lifted the turtle, and then when you go to move it somewhere else, it can't draw because it's not touching the paper anymore. And then once you put the pen down, then of course the turtle can resume drawing. Notice there's no parameters, there's no data for these functions, so you just say pen up with parentheses or pen down. You can also set the color. Common colors are going to work. Here's an example with red. You can use common colors that you would expect, like red, blue, yellow, green, purple. And there's also a large number of colors that we'll talk about later that you can actually draw from. But certainly basic colors are going to be very straightforward. You can also set the page background for the entire screen if you'd like. You can set the pen width. I think by default it's pen width 1. If you want a wider pen, set a wider pen, like 4 is a bit fatter. You can also clear, which clears the whole page and puts the turtle back to the middle. It sort of clears everything out that you've set before, so you're starting from scratch. And you can also just do home, and home moves the turtle back to its original position, but it doesn't clear the rest of the settings. It just resets the position. There are also some text commands. You'll need those for the challenge a little bit later, so you can draw text. You can change the font size and the font name, and you can also just change the size. There's two different ways that you can do that, and you'll see examples here. A couple of notes here. As with some other things that we're going to study, if you have text, you're going to put it in quotes. If it's just numbers, you're going to not put it in quotes. That's standard for literals in the JavaScript language. That follows here as well. Again, colors, we're going to get into more later, and you're going to see that in the web color world and the web page world, there's a lot of colors available, but we don't care for the moment. Also, you're going to see this funny thing called PX. That's PX units. That's a special unit of spacing. We're going to cover that later, but for the moment, you don't care. It's a unit of measurement, so that's all we need to know for the moment. All right, so one thing that we want to do is we want to consider this as a challenge. We want to draw this figure. So together, let's think about that. We want each of these panes to be 50 by 50. We want this to be blue. We want a pen width of 2, which is a little bit thicker. And if you're clever, you can draw this whole thing without lifting the turtle, right? Without lifting the pen. And we want to use only turtle commands. Some of you are clever, and I know you want to do other programming here, but don't. We're not ready for that yet. So we want to use only turtle commands to do it. So what are some ways that we could do it? Well, there's two ways that I can think of right off the bat. We could say, let's say we start here, maybe we think of ourselves being right in the middle. We could draw this particular square, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we could draw this square, 1, 2, 3, 4, then this square, 1, 2, 3, 4, then this square, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could draw 4 separate squares, but there might be another way. How about if we draw one big square, and then we come back here and fill in this part, and then we fill in this part? I think we'll go with that approach. I think that sounds like maybe a better way to do it. So let's take this second approach and let's see how we can do that. Now I'm going to bring up Notepad so we can draw, and I'll bring up our commands so we can have a reference as we're doing it. All right, so let me make my Notepad window a little bit smaller. How are we going to do that? So first, if I want to draw the lines that go all the way up the page, let's go here real quick. Right? It's going to be 100 units. So I'm going to go up first 100 units. So that's going to be forward 100 units. Then I know I'm going to need to turn right 90 degrees. We're making a square. And in fact, I'm going to need to do that all 2, 3, 4. I'm going to need to do that 4 times. That's going to accomplish the big square that we want to draw. Now what am I needing to do? Let's go back and take a peek real quick. So now we've drawn this outside part. Now I want to draw this line. So how do I get from where I am here? I'm pointing up because I turned right when I got done. I need to get up here and I need to draw this line. All right, so how are we going to do that? So let me go back to our reference, and how are we going to do that? Well, first I'm going to move forward, but I'm only going to move forward 50 because I just need to go up halfway. I'm going to turn right, so I'm pointing to the right, and I'm going to go forward 100 units, because that's going to draw the line all the way across. So that puts in the horizontal line. Does that make sense? Now I've done this part, but I'm here and I'm facing over to the right. So now what I need to do is I need to come back and draw this one. So I've got a couple choices of repositioning. I think since I'm pointing here, I'm just going to move back to the center. Right? I'm just going to move backwards and retrace over that line. That's fine. So I could say back, and that command is here. Right? The back command is BK. I'm going to move back 50. Now I'm still pointing to the right, so now I want to point down, because eventually I want to point downward so I can draw that line. So I'm going to again say right 90. So now where I am in the thing is I have come back here and I'm pointing down, but I'm right here. So I need to draw both this part and this part. So I think I'm pointing down. I think what I'm going to do is just back up. Right? I'm just going to back up 50, beep, 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 and then I'm going to move forward 100 to accomplish the task. So I'm going to say back 50 and then forward 100. And I think that that's going to solve the problem. Right? Now, if we were writing a real script, we'd probably put some comments, right? Draw the window. We would do some things like that. So I'll leave that out for now, but you can kind of see this is the window part, and then this is the horizontal part, right? This is repositioning, and then this is drawing the vertical line. Okay. Now I'm going to copy that whole thing, and I'm going to come back to my turtle window. I'm going to clear the screen, so I'm going to type clear, right, and execute that. So I'm starting over fresh. Now I'm going to just paste. So to do that, I can do right click and paste, or actually I can't from here, but I can do Control V because I know that's the shortcut. Control C for copy, Control V for paste. I'm going to do Control V. And if I've done everything right, let's see if that works. Ooh, that looks pretty good. It retraced the lines and it made them a little bit heavier. If that's a problem for us, we can certainly fix that later. Oh well, that's okay. The only thing we didn't do here is we didn't do the pen color and thickness. So one thing I need to add at the top is color blue. And I need to say, go back to our command so we see where it is. Right, here's the color, and then here's the pen width. So I need to do color blue and pen width with 2. Right, now I'm going to copy that all, Control C. I'm going to come back to my turtle window. Again, I'm going to clear, and I'm going to Control V for paste. I'm going to enter, boom. Ooh, now we got exactly what we wanted. right? So that's the way that you work with the turtle, and that will let us draw the way that we want to draw if we give it the right commands. I think it's nice to work in an editor and then paste the thing in. That works pretty good for me, but you can do it any way you like. So now what we'll leave for our class time, and that code's all going to be here in the slide, so that's great. So that's our plan of attack. We talked about that, and here's one potential answer that we've shown. Now what we're going to leave for class time is an additional challenge. So I'll leave that for another time. I'll let you think about that, and we can do it together in class when we're there. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll continue on with our programming building blocks soon. Thank you.